wiped out last season here at Barclays Center, so a pumped-up Liberty squad cannot wait to get it underway tonight against Marianne Stanley, the head coach of the Indiana Fever. Her second season with the Fever, and Walt Hopkins also in his second year, ready to go here in Brooklyn. 2-20 last year down in the Wobble, but there's so many extenuating circumstances with Hopkins and the team last year. Sabrina Ionescu, of course, got hurt. We talked about that in our open with her ankle injury. Long road to recovery to get back here to Barclays Center on opening night. But here we are ready to go. Sammy Whitcomb and Kylie Shook getting ready. Tiara McCowan to jump it up with Shook. And we are set to go to get this 25th anniversary season underway as Blanca Burns tosses it up, and we are underway here at Barclays Center. An exciting night here in Brooklyn for the Liberty, the Fever, the entire league, as year 25 commences here in Brooklyn. 9 seconds to shoot. That was Danielle Robinson missing the layup there, and Sabrina Ionescu goes to work for the Liberty. Kylie Shook with the high screen. Ionescu looked for her, and then it gets tipped out of bounds. It'll stay with the Liberty, 9 to shoot. Just underway here at Barclays Center. Liberty and Fever. Ionescu just inside the three-point line. Her shot doesn't go, and the rebound to Kelsey Mitchell, and she quickly outlets to Danielle Robinson. Robinson gets it inside, tries to get it inside to McCowan, but it's broken up, and Kylie Shook gets the loose ball. A couple of new pieces out there for the Liberty, and Benijah Laney, Sammy Whitcomb, and also the rookie, Michaela Onyenwere, who pulls from three and connects. Right on cue is the rookie out of UCLA. And the Liberty break the ice first. That's the first bucket of the 25th anniversary season, and it goes to the Rook. Kelsey Mitchell tries the baseline. Little lefty jumper doesn't go. McCowan with the rebound. Gets it back outside. That is a long three by Victoria Vivians and no good. And that might be, as we take another look at Onyenwere from way downtown, Jules.
Yeah, boy, can she shoot, and she's been the surprise player of the preseason so far, with her shot being a little better than everybody thought.
Kylie Shook gets it to Sammy Whitcomb, and Whitcomb drills the three. Back to back, and a belly to belly from downtown.
We all know Sammy Whitcomb can score. She's been in the league a while, and she's a champ.
Kelsey Mitchell tries to answer, no good, and here comes Laney. The most improved player in the league last year. Could be a revenge game for her tonight. She was cut by Indiana right before the Wubble season started, and then she's the most improved player as Danielle Robinson finds Mitchell for the easy bank in there. Kylie Shook playing a high game with Sabrina Ionescu. Gets it back to Shook, who's been better shooting the three, according to her head coach, Walt Hopkins, but she steps in and takes the two.
Right now, the offense for New York looking really fluid. Certainly a good start for Walt Hopkins' group, and in this system.
As Mitchell knocks down the jumper. That's no surprise either, Jules, that we're seeing this with Sabrina Ionescu back on the floor.
Well, she really controls everything. And when we talked to Walt Hopkins before this season and just this week, he mentioned how much trust he has in her and how much trust her teammates have in her to make the right decisions.
And we're seeing that so far as Laney draws contact, and she'll shoot two.
And Kylie Shook is a player who Walt Hopkins and the entire coaching staff just talked about, where, boy, has she improved her game in the offseason, and she's extended her range in so many ways. And she's somebody that they really wanted to hang on to and continue to develop. And you can see why right from the start here. Real smart, high IQ player.
Somebody asked her in media day too, Jules, what she does to get herself ready, like what a normal day is on game day for, I think it was Miles Ehrlich, to tell you the truth. And she said, I have to talk to myself. Did you ever do that as a player?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
To hype yourself up?
You got to preach to yourself, I like to say. Get those positive vibes in you, and you got to amp yourself up because no one else will sometimes. So you've got to be able to ignite your own game.
It's that old you against you. It's the paradox that drives us all. And I just quoted Survivor again. I swear I got to stop doing that.
Hey, my coach used to say you're your own worst enemy, and you can also be your own best, I think, best asset.
Danielle Robinson knocks down the jumper. It's a 2-point game. Liberty up 10-8 here with just under 6 minutes to play in this opening period. Laney, little hop step, tried to get it to Shook. Good idea, but the pass is tipped, and here's Robinson going the distance and laying it up and in.
And that's one thing about Robinson. She's one of the fastest players in the league, and I don't think people harp on that enough about her game. But when she gets it, she is down the floor like lightning. Gotta be ready to get back.
Sabrina Ionescu, long three, no good. And Robinson, Jules, 2011 6th overall pick of the San Antonio Stars, as McCowan gets inside and gets it to go to give the Fever the lead. And Walt Hopkins knows a lot about Danielle Robinson, had her in Minnesota when he was an assistant.
Yeah, she's a true veteran, a leader, and she's at the point guard reins here.
And that is what this Liberty team desperately needed, a consistent threat from downtown, and that is Sammy Whitcomb. Hits her second of the first quarter. I was watching her in practice too, Jules. I think I might call her the machine, because I don't think she missed more than 2, and she took about 100 shots.
Coach Hopkins says she's the hungriest player between her and Nigel Laney, the 2 hungriest players he's ever coached, and they're veterans.
Oh, great look inside to Onion Wade from Whitcomb. That's what she does with her outside threat, Jules. Everybody falls to her, and wide open in the lane was the rookie.
You make a couple, you force the defense out to play you, and yet it will open the entire game up.
McCowan with the lefty hook that doesn't go, and the board to Whitcomb. And that's going to be important tonight with the size of Indiana, the offensive and defensive boards here for the Liberty tonight. Laney just inside the three-point line, doesn't get it to go. 15-12 in the early going. New York with the lead. Mitchell for the tie. No good. Rebound again to Whitcomb. That's something Walt Hopkins preached. His team needed to get better at rebounds. We're going to step aside and take our first break, Jules. Let's take another look here.
You got to love the way Sammy Whitcomb has come out guns a-blazing and knocking him down from distance, making that defense player, and then with the dish and the finish.
First quarter, the Liberty with a 3-point lead on the Fever as Sabrina Ionescu is about to trigger in here for New York. Joyner Holmes with her first action, but it's Benijah Laney from downtown. Hey, Laney! That's a 3.
New York is going to love her, and the way she plays with that swag. She played at Rutgers, so she's kind of back in the hometown in that regard, her college hometown. Not too far.
8-0 run for the Liberty. See if they can add to that as the rookie from UCLA goes in with reckless abandon. And Onion Wade is on her way to the line.
I like what you did there.
See that?
That was good.
I've been practicing, Jules.
She's going to have a tremendous season. And, you know, everyone that has seen her play and has talked about her, she's been a pleasant surprise in the preseason here. I mentioned it earlier, shooting better than anyone would have thought, and just her aggressiveness and her sheer readiness for the pro level has just been very evident.
And Jules, Kylie Shook was the highest drafted ever player in the W from Colorado. She was taken 13th, first pick in the second round last year. She was outdone this year by the 6th overall pick, Michaela Onwuede. And they're friends. They know each other.
And they're on the same team,
yes,
right?
Yes. And they know each other from Colorado and AAU ball. Nice little story. She had a friend here in New York, and that helps. And there she is right on cue, grabbing that board. Laney, again. Are you kidding me? The Liberty are on fire from downtown. It is a 13-zip run, and New York has its largest lead of the game.
And what they're doing is they're getting some stops here, Chris, and they're able to get out and run when they get some stops and some rebounds. And you have to love how in sync New York is. You get a rebound and you just push the tempo, and Laney, who has just been hot, and of course Sabrina Ionescu, who is just the lead floor general, getting it up the floor quickly. And you cannot harp on Laney enough. She is a huge pickup for this team.
McCowan backs her way down, and she's 6'7", got some size to her. Joyner Holmes, who was just re-signed by the Liberty after getting waived, will have her work cut out for her tonight against McCowan as Laney comes up a little strong there. And Indiana back on the offense.
Well, that's one concern that the Liberty have going into this game is the size of McCowan and the post play of Indiana. Can they rebound appropriately where they did struggle a little bit in the preseason? Can they put some bodies on people? They've got true post presence on this Indiana team.
That was Kelsey Mitchell with the tremendous work on the offensive glass, and she's rewarded with a couple of free throws here for her hard work. And I got to tell you, Jules, looking at the stats right now, New York, 5 of 6 from downtown. What we thought we were going to see before COVID hit with Walt Hopkins' system last season is now in front of our eyes this season.
That's their philosophy. They like the three ball. That's what he preaches, and he wants to take a lot. He wants to make a lot, but what they've harped on in the offseason has been the defense. That has been what they've honed in on, because that produces your offense.
Lasia Clarendon checked into the game, as did Jasmine Jones. So it's Onwuede, Clarendon, Jazz Jones, Joyner Holmes, and Benijah Laney. Jessica Breland, free agent pickup for the Fever, in there for Indiana, will stay here. It's going to be a foul on the Liberty. 18 seconds to shoot for the Fever. Kelsey Mitchell will inbound. Three there from Jontel Lavender. She could do it inside, she could do it outside.
She's a 10-year vet, and boy, can she shoot it from anywhere. And you've got to put a hand in her face.
Joyner Holmes out to Laney again for three, and Sammy Whitcomb, who's about to check back in, screams her approval at her teammate.
Laney just fits the bill. I mean, she fits Walt Hopkins' style. She fits anyone's style.
Yes, she does. And this has to be sort of a revenge game for her. We mentioned that earlier, Jules, and as she steps back again, tries another three, but that time off the mark. She leads all scorers right now with 11 points, but this is a team that cut her before last season, and she winds up being the 2020 most improved player in the league. And that shot goes down there for Kaiser Gondrzik.
Talk about the kind of commitment that takes to get cut and then to come back and be the 2020 most improved player. It just tells you a lot about her as a player and in her character.
And we'll see another one of those players that's had to fight during her career, who was just signed by the Liberty. On my drive-in today, Rashonda Gray is back in the fold for the Seafoam. So good to see the Purple Unicorn back in action. Joyner Holmes thought about the three, dribble drive, tried to go around Lavender, but lost control, and the Fever take over. And it's the 4th overall pick, Kaiser Gondrzik, out of West Virginia, running the offense, and Lasia Clarendon guarding her. Tried to force that one inside to Jessica Breland, and that will end the first quarter. Jazz Jones did launch that from beyond half court, and the referees are waving this off. Blanca Burns ruled on the court that it was no basket, but my goodness, we are about to step aside and go to break, and then Jazz Jones
a little late.
does this, but it was a little late.
You know she practices that
Absolutely.
all the time.
Absolutely.
Nice shot, Jazz.
The officials will just check to make sure. Bring the music back in, everyone. There it is. We're going to step aside when we come back. Second quarter action from Barclays Center right after. We are back here at Barclays Center for the start of the second quarter between the Fever and Liberty. New York up by 5. They did go on a 13-0 run, had their largest lead of the game, a 9-point advantage. And Indiana has cut back into that lead. They only trail by 5 here at the outset of the second quarter as Rashonda Gray has checked into this game. Love the way that seafoam pops on these new unis. I got to tell you, Jules, they did such a great job on the new uniforms.
The rebranding, it looks terrific.
League-wide, but especially with the Liberty. And the Fever have a really cool alternate jersey from Stranger Things. I don't know if you've seen that one.
Yeah, I have.
But it's,
you know what?
it's tremendous.
That's a great point. I love some of these throwback jerseys that we see around the league too at times, and I certainly love it. And I'm excited to be back here in the W.
Gondrzik with the 3, the 4th overall pick, reigning from the outside.
And she is a bright young star out of West Virginia. I mean, scoring is her DNA. I mean, she is going to be one of those players in Indiana who really makes a difference. Nice job here just setting up, stroking it from distance, but her ability to attract the defense's attention is just bar none.
And we saw Teresa Weatherspoon at the top of this show. She let us in to the 25th anniversary season, and rightfully so. Love Spoon, by the way. As we get a foul here on Jazz Jones. But the cool thing about seeing Spoon at the top of the show, and that last basket being converted by Gondrzik, the rookie, her mother, Lisa, was on the same La Tech team in 1988 with Spoon on that championship team.
That is a great stat. Really, you must have dug for that one. I love it.
That is a dazzling fact. No good.
That's useful.
Yes, it is. No good there for Lavender, and intercepted by Ionescu like a cornerback was awaiting to steal that pass. Whitcomb gets the high screen, pulls up in front of Gondrzik, no good. And here come the Fever once again. Lindsay Allen, in her 4th year out of Notre Dame, and she gets the lefty. Nice little spin to get it in there, Jules, to tie the game.
Between Lindsay Allen and Danielle Robinson, they got the point guard covered in. And look at how precise Allen is here. She just slows her body down. She's not going too fast. Knows how to change the speed. I mean, just so under control. I've always loved Lindsay Allen's game, even when she played at Notre Dame. Just that great point guard with a handle, and she will take those duties on nicely.
14-3 run now, which could be added to here with the free throw from Lindsay Allen at spanning the first and second quarters for Indiana. And they could take the lead here. And they do. Since 2000, Indiana has the head-to-head regular season series lead. Liberty record against the Fevers, 30-47 over that time, as Shook takes it inside, and it's an offensive foul on Shook. Liberty are 6-8 all time against the Fever in the postseason. second as well.
And this is where Kylie Shook just needs that little pull-up J right there. You got to stop and pop, and great defensive effort inside the restricted line.
Nice look inside to Lavender. She can't come up with it, but she gets her own rebound and puts it back in. And that could be a big issue for the Liberty. They got to get on the glass, and they got to get out in transition.
You're not worried about the Liberty's guard play this year. It would be the post play. They are a guard-oriented group.
That was almost a magic wand by Sabrina Ionescu. How that would have gone down, I have no idea. But she will be headed to the free throw line, shooting two.
And she's just really getting her feet wet. It's been a while since she's been able to get out and play a full game. And we weren't sure if we'd see minutes restrictions with her.
Right.
And it sounded like Walt Hopkins wasn't going to restrict her too much here tonight, just maybe somewhat. But she is certainly going to get those minutes and the reps.
Back on Monday, he did tell us, Jules, that she was close to 100%. Wasn't quite there yet. And that was her first point of the night right there, and her second. Indiana Fever, 12 field goals in this game, 8 coming in the paint. That goes back to what we talked about earlier, Jules. Liberty have to get a little bit more feisty in the painted area.
And this is a mismatch here. And you see Indiana trying to take advantage.
Nice help there by Kylie Shook. And she comes down with the board. Ionescu to Laney. She goes baseline around Breland and lays it in. The burst of speed from Laney on the baseline gives the Liberty the advantage again.
Laney is instant offense. She needs a touch every time down the floor.
That time Tiffany Mitchell comes up short. And here comes Laney once again. Stop, pop, no good in front of the rim. Thought about driving, but stopped from the foul line extended. Mitchell cannot hit that layup, and Laney gets tangled up with Lindsay Allen. They will stay Liberty ball with 21 to shoot.
But Benijah Laney, it doesn't matter where she is on the floor. You see Ionescu is always looking for her great little head fake, goes baseline. The help defense does not rotate. But Laney really makes the defense work because she can score in 3 ways. That's a 3D player right there. Hard to stop.
Walt was kind of funny when we brought up Laney and what she did as Ionescu connects on her first 3 of the season. But what Hopkins was telling us earlier in the week, Jules, when we talked to him about what Laney did to the Liberty when she was on the green.
You never forget what they do.
No, and Walt was like, "Oh, please don't bring that up." So I'm pretty sure he's glad that number 44 is wearing seafoam this season.
That's right. You always take her on your side.
Chelsea Perry, base post move, no good, and Ionescu with the board. Liberty looking to add now to this 2-point lead. Ionescu working on Danielle Robinson. Gets the ball back from Kylie Shook. Floats it up, no good, and crashing the boards is Anya Wede, but she comes up short.
So you see how much Walt Hopkins likes to have Sabrina going off the on-ball screen, letting her make those decisions because she's so capable of making the right ones out of it.
Victoria Vivians brings down a little rain with that jumper. We're tied at 33.
She's providing that welcome scoring punch for Indiana, having her back and healthy.
Sammy Wickham misses the short push shot there in the lane, and here comes the Fever running. Kelsey Mitchell outside to Vivians for 3, no good. Rebound to Ionescu. Under 5 minutes to play here in the second. We're tied at 33. Opening night at Barclays Center. A year late, but we're here nonetheless. Ionescu connects on her three, and Dee Richards approves.
I think I hurt someone.
I am not going before a grand jury and saying he was possessed by demons.
Based on a true story.
The court accepts the existence of God. It's about time they accept the existence of the devil.
The Conjuring, June 4th, rated R.
We both love this place.
I'm pretty sure we have everything in order.
Pretty sure. With Rocket, you could be certain. Not pretty sure.
What's the difference?
Well, let me show you. I'm pretty sure I know how to extract the upper bicuspid. I'm pretty sure just like riding a bike. I'm pretty sure they come in peace.
Let's do certain.
Yeah, certain is better.
Pretty sure isn't sure enough. When you need to be certain of how much home you can afford, Rocket can.
Why is the thin crust of Little Caesars Thin Crust Pizza hiding under all that cheese and pepperoni? It's shy. Hello, Little Crust. Got a Little Caesars large thin crust pizza with extra cheese and the most pepperoni, all at the nation's best price of just $6.49.
Pizza.
This is a big deal. Now at healthcare.gov, millions more people can afford health coverage. Due to the COVID relief law, you can pay less with financial help. In fact, 4 out of 5 customers can get a plan for under $10 a month. From doctor visits to preventive services to prescription drugs, these are quality plans. You can do this. You can have coverage as soon as June 1st if you sign up now at healthcare.gov.
When you make the impossible shot, you tell your opponents, count it. They said women couldn't dunk. We said, count it, that women couldn't play after having kids. I mean, DeWanna had twins. Count that twice. Count Asia's monument. Count rocking the vote. Impossible shot after impossible shot after impossible shot. WNBA 25. Count it.
Yes, don't miss Aaron Judge and the Bronx Bombers battle the Baltimore Orioles at Camden Yards. Coverage starts at 6:30 on Yes, and streaming, of course, on the Yes app. And our camera crew always able to find the Yankee hat. And fans are in the house here. Barclays Center allowing 1,225 fans here for opening night as Benijah Laney connects from the corner. She is on fire. 16 points, 5 of 9 from the field, 4 of 5 from deep.
We heard so many of the ladies talking about how excited they were to have family back in the stands. And boy, this is a group that's given a lot of these fans something to cheer about so far. But being back here at home, you've got your home facility, you've got your home equipment to work out in and to train in, and there's just so many positive things about being back in Brooklyn.
It's got to be such a weight.
And that's across the board.
Yeah. It's got to be a weight lifted off everybody's shoulders. Onyenwere hit the deck in the paint. And a foul called on Indiana. It'll be on Victoria Vivians. And Jessica Breland comes back in for Chelsea Perry. Perry was called for that offensive foul on the other end of the floor, which gave the Seafoam the ball back. So far, the Fever dominating in the paint as Ionescu misses there. They're +5 in rebounds, +12 in paint points, +8 in second chance points. Kelsey Mitchell, no need for second chance points there. She hits the three. We're tied again. Back and forth we go.
Yeah, and if she gets going, it can be a problem. She's their pure scorer, their most dynamic player. And they need even more out of her this season. They've had departures of some really good talent on this team.
She's led the team in scoring the past 2 seasons. Last year, 17.9 points. Played all 22 games in the level. Nice look inside by Laney to Shook. And the Liberty seesaw back in front by 2.
Liberty are so capable of scoring. They're able to keep up here.
Laney filling it up. 16, 3, and 2 for her so far here in the first half as McCowan, with the greatest of ease there, lays it up and in around Shook.
It's too easy for Indiana to score inside. I mean, they could do that every single time down the floor.
McCowan, 8 points. She's 4 for 7 from the field. She's got 6 boards. Nice look inside from Ionescu. She finds Laney, and she lays it up and in with the left.
That's pure hustle on Laney's part. Diving into space, knowing, hey, I better get myself open and available.
You can't be in concrete shoes when Sabrina Ionescu has the ball, as Breland lays that up and in. Always have to be constantly moving with the ball, partner. Without the ball, that is. Another great look inside. Great save there by Laney. Onyenwere to Wickham, no good. The bench really wanted that one.
The thing with this group is if you know Sabrina Ionescu has the ball, she's going to find you. So you're going to benefit from having her on the floor. The New York Liberty keeping this at a tie, and they are finding offense, and Shook with the finish underneath, running the floor like a deer, and Benija Laney with the hustle, the cutting off the ball, the curl, and the finish.
Ball pick, Jules, would be the star of draft night for the New York Liberty and Michaela Onyenwere. But it was her mom and her grandma. Go, Grandma. Go, Grandma. Go, Grandma.
I love the outfit.
I do too.
Great. It's so great.
Grandma got some moves.
She's got better moves than both you and I can tell you that.
She might be recruited by the Timeless Torches before the season's over.
Oh, it was a breakout dance. I loved it. Gets out of the couch, breaks out some moves, and really shows her support.
And you know what? We heard a lot of these players, Jules, and you mentioned it before the break, how they were very excited. Sabrina Ionescu, who's holding the ball right now, is one of them. Their families are able to watch them now. As Onyenwere connects from three right on cue. See, we showed Grandma, she hit a three.
Tell you what, we got some personalities on this team.
Oh, God, do we?
It's great.
Long three there by Vivian's no good. Long rebound. Fought for, and it's going to stay here. Foul on Benija Laney. She can't believe it. I don't think I can believe it either.
Now take a look here. And it did seem like a phantom call there. She barely touched anybody in Indiana.
That's two fouls for Laney. Too easy for McCowan.
McCowan with her back to the basket. She was one of the true posts of this league who can score down there. And it's tough to knock her off the block when she's that deep. You got to find a way to push her out.
Great ball movement here. Shook kind of got stuck in the lane there. Called for the double dribble. But Jules, how about this stat right now? 14 assists on 14 field goals for the New York Liberty.
Yeah, that's some stat line right there. And that means they're making shots too. Not only are they passing it well, they're making them.
And that was a good look into Shook, who just pushed Tierra McCowan. Got to do something to try to stop McCowan in the paint. And McCowan will be headed to the line to shoot two. Just over a minute left here in the first half. As McCowan sinks her first.
Kylie Shook here goes into the lane and kind of shakes up her ankle a bit. If you look at her after she passes that ball, she's kind of compensating the other ankle for that one.
And that's probably what led to that double dribble. We've seen those ankle injuries in basketball across the board way too often. A little inside-out game from Whitcomb to Onyenwere, but Jessica Breland, that's why she was brought in here, Jules, for Indiana.
Yeah, Jessica Breland is a 9-year vet. I mean, she's somebody, look at this closeout here. I mean, just gets there on time. You got to use the head fake there when you know she's coming at you.
Laney called for the screen and then knocks down the jumper. Ties it at 45. 2 for 1 here for Indiana. Kelsey Mitchell. Into Breland on the baseline, and she lays it in.
everything for Indiana is coming in the paint, and they are abusing New York down low.
Great defense here by Danielle Robinson. She poked it away from Ionescu, but a foul called. And it's going to be on Robinson.
Indiana foul charge number 3, Danielle Robinson. That is her third.
And Ionescu here does a great job maintaining her dribble. That's where some players would have picked up their dribble and then gotten themselves in trouble, but she's such a good ball handler that she keeps her dribble alive.
Coming up, we'll take you through Sabrina Ionescu's road to recovery after her ankle injury down in the Wubble in the third game last season. And we'll also get stats and analysis of first half action with Jules, of course. So make sure you stick around for that. 15 seconds to go here. Shot clock is off. Indiana looking for the last shot. We're tied at 47. Kelsey Mitchell goes into the lane, loses it, but McCowan right there. She's short. And that is how the first half will end. A feverish pace here between the Fever and the Liberty. And it ends in a tie ball game here at the break. We're back to show you Sabrina Ionescu
and the Indiana Fever. Sabrina Ionescu is back, but it was a long road to recovery from her ankle injury after just 2.5 games in the bubble last season. Right now, we want to let you see her journey on the road to recovery and how she got back for opening night here at Barclays Center.
An open look for Sabrina, and she knocks it down.
That is what we're going to see a lot of this whole season.
Sabrina Ionescu hits her second three of the game. Ionescu drives and puts it in.
Great lefty right there.
Sabrina hits it again. Sabrina Ionescu on fire. All over the floor. She is getting it done. Ooh, Sabrina grabbed her ankle there. Not good for the Liberty. Sabrina's still down on the floor at midcourt.
That's always a tough thing, especially when she's just playing so well right now, leading this squad.
This does not look good because she needs help to get off the floor as Sabrina rolls that left ankle.
It definitely was really hard and a long process, but I think at the end of the day, just wanting to get back on the court motivated me. Spending a lot of time in the weight room and just working on my body kind of allowed me to get back on the court. So I think just always keeping that in mind and always, understanding that there's going to be adversity along the way, but just, staying positive and keeping those people around me, my friends and my family that kind of helped me through this really close, and leaning on them for guidance as well. There's definitely a lot that goes into it, and I would say it definitely gives you more of an appreciation for the game. You kind of take for granted the time that you have to be able to practice and the ability to run, jump, get out on the court whenever you want. And then when you're hurt, you can't do those things, for a long period of time. Obviously, the mental side is just as important as the physical side. So I definitely talked to other athletes that went through injuries, taking into consideration all those pieces. They've helped me get to where I am now. Just having that experience and that first game in the league out of the way definitely helps. And although, I didn't have that many under my belt last year, I think just having one helps a lot, just knowing what to expect coming into this season. And obviously haven't played against a lot of teams, so it's the first time that I'll, be matched up with them and they'll be matched up with me. What we're building here, it's been really exciting. Camp's been really fun. Coach Walt's done a great job, and so I'm just excited to kind of start a new season and a new chapter for this organization and get rolling. I just want to get healthy and stay healthy. I think that's, the main thing. Taking care of my body and figure out what I need to do. But on the court, it's just do what I've been doing my entire career, is just having fun doing what I love and helping those around me in whatever they need to do and finding ways to win. And so I'm very excited for the opportunity to do that. I just can't wait. I'm excited for this season and really just taking it one day and one step at a time and being where my feet are and excited for what's to come.
After a quick break, we come...
Transmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise used in any form without the express written consent of WNBA Enterprises.
Center the score at the break. It's 47-47, and the Indiana Fever shooting 25% from the field and being tied at the half. I'm sure Marianne Stanley has to be looking at that and thanking her lucky stars that her team is tied at the break here with the Liberty. They're also winning the points in the paint battle 24-8. But Laney, Jules, she is as advertised.
She sure has been. I mean, she's been just terrific on all fronts. I mean, wherever she is on the floor, she's a weapon, and you've got to get her the basketball. And she's playing with confidence and urgency, and she's commanding the ball. Her three-point play has been just tremendous, stretching the floor out wherever she is. And because she's knocking those down, these drives are open for her. So you've got to play her honest because she's all over the place. She's great without the basketball, knows when to cut, good off the dribble. Her mid-range game is on point. There really has not been a hole that we've seen in Betnijah Laney's game in the first half of this game.
20 points, 7 of 11 from the field. She has 4 three-pointers. One more three for her, and it's a single-game record. Career best for her. If she hits her 5th, it'll be a career best for her. And Tara McCowan has been getting it done for the Fever so far.
And McCowan is one of those true posts that you've got to watch out for because she is so tough to stop with her back to the basket. When she's that deep in the lane and Shook is that far off of her, she's so dynamic and she's just commanding the ball down low, and they're finding her, and it's almost looking too easy. I mean, all she has to do is box out, is post up, and they're knocking it down underneath, and that's where they've been dominating. She's got 11 points so far to lead Indiana.
Well, we mentioned Laney needs just one more three to set a career best for a single game with 5. She is 15 points away from her career best 35 in a game as well. Tara McCowan leading the way for the Fever, and we are tied at the break 47 apiece. We met the brand new mascot of the New York Liberty tonight, Ellie the Elephant, and she is getting her groove on with the torches. We're back with more and the start of the second half. Maddie passing the torch to Ellie. But Maddie will still be in the fold here with Ellie this season, the 25th anniversary season. At the start of the third quarter, just about to get set here. It's tied at 47. And Jules, it's time for trivia. Teresa Weatherspoon.
That's got to be the answer. Come on. It's a new season.
Oh,
first
my
game.
goodness. What was the starting lineup in the Liberty's first ever game 25 years ago in 1997?
That's going to require some Googling help for most people.
Are you really? Wait, you're
No, I know.
admitting that you're
You know what?
cheating on the air?
No, I'm not. I did not say that. No, I'm just saying that to the crowd. But back then, boy, off memory, I was young. I mean, this is what's cool to me about the 25th anniversary. I've been watching the league since I was like 10, 11 years old, and now you're seeing it and how far it's come, and it's pretty incredible.
Well, Rebecca Lobo has to
Lobo's on there.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
come on.
She's in the
We'll give you one.
If you have a guess, hashtag Liberty on Yes Trivia. Head on over to Twitter, put your guess up there. And we get back to our game now as Liberty break their huddle, tied at 47 here at the break. Betnijah Laney lighting it up here in the first half for Walt Hopkins. She's got 20. Sabrina Ionescu filling up the box score. She's got 7 and 7. That's points and assists, 2 boards for her as well. And we get a look at Laney there. 7 of 11 from the floor, 4 of 5 from downtown. Liberty are perfect 8 for 8 from the free throw line. And we are underway here once again at Barclays Center. Game was back and forth
in the first half. We'll see if anyone goes on an extended run here to take control of this one. As Laney pulls the three, misses, but Wickham right there, 8 to shoot. Ionescu had to gather that pass, puts up a long three herself, and banks it in.
She'll take it.
Did you see her face?
She's like, well, I'll take it. I'll take it. It went in. Doesn't have to be pretty.
Man, that was...
These shots she's making, though, all confidence boosters for her. Not that she needs confidence. She is already a very confident player, but coming off of an injury, and as a former player myself, it only helps you as Sabrina makes another terrific pass.
And, she was very close to the late Kobe Bryant, and that face coming back after that bank three, that kind of reminded me of Kobe doing that same face.
Yeah. She gleaned so much knowledge from him and skill. A really special relationship.
And there's the offensive glass for the Fever. 3 in a row until they get the bucket. And they cut the Liberty lead to 3 here. Kylie Shook rims in and out. Contested there by McCowan. Good hands by Wickham, and then the save. Sammy Wickham coming from the Seattle Storm, who are one of the best teams in the W when it comes to defense, and she's showing that right there.
And Sammy Wickham told us that when she was first welcomed into the league, what really struck her was just the intensity, the physicality of practice with those players in Seattle. They taught her truly how to be a winner. Sue Bird, you got Stewie, a lot of players that are champs.
Turnaround jumper doesn't go, and by comparison, these two teams were 11th and 12th respectively. Defensively last year, they're both trying to get better on the defensive side of the floor as Laney gets the friendly Barclays Center roll.
And she thought she got a little body contact there too, but she finished anyway. And yeah, good point. I mean, and I mentioned it, I brushed on it earlier, but we've talked about the offensive philosophy for Walt Hopkins and New York, but every player we talked to on Media Day, and including him, it was about the defense. That's what they've harped on, because that is what they truly believe will ignite the other end, and that's what they've gotten better at. And you've got to love this bank from Sabrina. It is open today. And see her little smirk. She's like, I'll take it. Didn't swoosh, but it went in. And Benaja Laney with the terrific drive to the hole. And she finishes with a little contact. Those two players are going to certainly be leaned upon all season.
Great feed. Great find from Ionescu to Kylie Shook. And then Wickham with the hands again, telegraphing that pass and knocking it out before Kelsey Mitchell could corral it. And here comes Tiffany Mitchell off the bench.
See how tight Sabrina comes off of that dribble handoff. I wish I could draw that right now and show all the younger players that are watching. She came off shoulder to shoulder, and that's why she turned the corner so quick and could make that pass.
Is that why that look was so open?
It was open, exactly. She created that opportunity by coming off. She didn't leave any room for the defense to slide through.
Jontel Lavender, Tierra McCowan, once again, it's like ping pong every time. And I think Walt Hopkins has seen enough. He's going to take a timeout with 6:50 left here in the third, and the Liberty with a 3-point lead, 56-53. We'll have more third quarter action when we come back here on Yes. And Tuesday night, don't miss the next Liberty game on Yes as they take on the Minnesota Lynx here at Barclays Center. Stream it live at 7 on the Yes app. You could also watch it tape delayed that night following Yankees coverage on Yes. Can't say it enough. I love the new New York Liberty drip. They're wearing it on the court. They're wearing it in the stands. It's nice to see. That's what the kids call the new stuff, Jules.
The drip.
The drip.
Look at that.
I am in no way, shape, or form one of the kids.
You're hip, Chris. You're hip.
You have to try to stay on top of these things. Tiffany Mitchell, short, but another offensive rebound for the Fever. But Tierra McCowan loses it out of bounds. They're now leading 13-2 in offensive rebounds,
14, 5, and second chance points. And Jules, we brought that up at the beginning of the broadcast. That might be a problem for the Liberty, and it's rearing its ugly head here.
Yeah, these couldn't be more different, these two teams. It's contrasting styles. You've got a player like Lavender, who's your classic pick and pop forward. You've got a big, strong McCowan, as we see the rookie put another one in.
She has been impressive. 15 points for the rookie out of UCLA. Kelsey Mitchell, what a sweet stroke Kelsey Mitchell has. And as you said in the first half, partner, you don't want her to get cooking.
A pure scorer. That's what she does well.
She's like that sound in the casino when you're walking around. Ding, 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 ding. You don't want her to get going. But Michaela Onyenwere, she's doing it outside. She's getting it inside. Anywhere she wants.
And Michaela is getting it done. I mean, I love this. She just penetrates hard to the basket, and nobody can stay with her. A really quick first step. And she's playing assertive, not like a rookie, not like a, hey, I got to tiptoe in my first game type of thing and feel the waters out. No. She's out there playing her guts out.
You're seeing why Jonathan Cobb, the general manager, and Walt Hopkins picked her with the 6th pick in this past year's draft. Got the start tonight as Mitchell gets the step and banks it in.
Everybody on this New York team's going to get a shot. I mean, and we mentioned it earlier in the broadcast. Some people that are not here. We've got no Kia Stokes, no Natasha Howard, who is going to be a dynamic force. Rebecca Allen isn't here.
Oh, what a move by Laney, but she can't finish. Spinorama. Nice backdoor cut by Tiffany Mitchell. Lays it up and in, and she's fouled.
The help just a little bit late, and Tiffany Mitchell does a great job getting there. And the Fever just continuing to pound it on the inside. McCowan, how about McCowan making that pass from the point? A little point forward passing. Swapping positions there.
You acknowledged her appropriately in the open. You called her a point forward. Look at that. 15 and 11 for McCowan. And that was her first assist on the night.
She's only improved each year she has been in
Absolutely.
the NBA. When she was at Mississippi State, she was a dominant force in the college game, and you knew it would translate here in the WNBA. And for her size, she gets up and down the floor really well. Very mobile.
Good hands there by the Liberty. They will get the ball back. And I want to go back to your point before about everyone's going to get an opportunity on this team, especially with the players that are missing that you mentioned. And this is just like the bubble situation with the 7 rookies last year. Onyenwere not only making her debut, she gets the start tonight, Jules. That has to be huge for her.
Well, it'll certainly boost her confidence and give her the swag she needs to start this season strong. And she deserves it. She's earned it in the preseason, and they've had a little bit longer time than they did last year to prepare as a team to get the plays in, to learn the system.
Kelsey Mitchell short there. Another offensive rebound. Danielle Robinson. You blink and she is by you. 7-0 run for the Fever.
And it's all been at the rim and taking it at you and attacking. They're in attack mode.
Nice look to Kylie Shook. Can't get it to fall, though.
Kylie Shook's shot, to me, still looks a little flat at times. When she misses it, it's a little flat.
Gets back. Good D there by Shook, though. But another offensive rebound, and Shook pulls this one down. Maybe she tweaked her ankle. Looks like she may be a little ginger up and down the floor. Could be affecting her jump shot as Tiffany Mitchell called for the foul.
Danielle Robinson for Indy, just so quick off the bounce. I mean, Ionescu had no chance there. She caught it, and she was already by her.
Laney using the high screen from Rashonda Gray, who was just re-signed by the team. Onyenwere tries another three, no good. And this time it's going to be a foul on Gray going over the back of McCowan.
And we'd be remiss, Jules, if we didn't send well wishes out to a couple of Liberty players. First and foremost, Jocelyn Willoughby, who tore her Achilles, her left Achilles. She's out for the season. And also Asia Durr. If Asia's watching, we send our best. Our thoughts and prayers go out to Asia, still dealing with the after effects of dealing with COVID, which she got last June, right before the bubble started. So Asia, we're with you. If you're watching the broadcast tonight, we're praying for you.
Absolutely. It's been quite a year for everybody. And we wish everybody that recovery that they need.
Such a shame, too, because she was the second overall pick in 2019. We are so hyped to see her with Sabrina Ionescu in that backcourt, Jules.
Yeah, such a talented offensive player. And then Willoughby was the star of the preseason of camp. She was looking like the best player out on the floor, Walt Hopkins told us before she went down with that Achilles. So we wish her that recovery.
Ionescu with the jumper, and it goes. And Dee Dee Richards is checked into the game. She did not play in the first half. The rookie gets her first look here for Walt Hopkins. Mitchell off on the three, and good position by Laney with the board.
Have not been too many made threes for Indiana for sure tonight. Their game has been all interior.
Liberty have missed 6 of their last 7 shots. Sabrina Ionescu with her jumper earlier ended a streak of 5 straight misses, and then Laney was off the mark there. 2 minutes to play here in the third quarter. A tight game throughout. Here on opening night, the 25th anniversary season for the W, and also for one of their cornerstone franchises, the Seafoam, the New York Liberty. Good look into Breland from Gondrzik, but no good on the turnover. And this pair is Rashonda Gray with her first points with the Liberty this season, and if you can believe it or not, the first bench points.
That is interesting, and she is one of those players, and those are her type of points right there. The garbage points, the hustling up the floor points.
Nice move there by Tiffany Mitchell. Liberty up by 2 here. Ionescu looking for Gray again. Boy, your head always has to be up as Gray is called for the foul there, but your head has to be on the swivel when Ionescu has the ball.
And Sabrina Ionescu's always got her head up, and she's going to find you if you are running the floor. And yes, Rashonda Gray does just that. That is her game. Whether she is fighting for loose balls and rebounds or she is taken off like a deer, you know that you're going to be found with this Liberty group. And I like the way that Sabrina has played today. I do. She has been a heady guard who has really orchestrated everything on offense.
Well, she had to be chomping at the bit as Gondrzik misses the jumper to get back into action. Only played 2.5 games last season. As she pulls for 3, comes up short. And a foul called.
Indiana foul charge number 4, Kaiser.
The team record for assists in a game for the New York Liberty is 13 by Teresa Weatherspoon. That was back in 1998. And Ionescu has 11 assists right now.
She's on pace. And Laney's on fire.
Yes, she is. 9 for 16 from the field, 24 points for the Liberty free agent signing in the offseason. She spent last year with the Atlanta Dream in the bubble. As my partner told you, the most improved player in the W last year.
She played for Coach Vivian Stringer. I covered her in college at Rutgers, and let me tell you, I saw firsthand, she was always a good player, but she has made such huge strides over the last couple of years with her game.
And how cool is this? Her mom, Yolanda, played for Viv, too, at Cheney State.
That's cool. Yep. And talk about that. It just learning from a legend like C. Viv, who is a tough-nosed, hard-nosed, old-school coach who prepares you for the pro level.
Danielle Robinson with 4 seconds left here in the third quarter. Gondrzik gets the birdie but doesn't get the shot to fall. And we are going to step aside, take a timeout. When we come back, fourth quarter action. Liberty up by 4.
Weeks leading up to this game, she just couldn't wait to get out there on the hardwood. And you can see that love for the game in her eye, the spark. It's already there. And she's already been a pleasure to watch in game 1.
8 lead changes, 9 ties. Liberty have led by as many as 11. They're up by 4 right now as we start the fourth. Breland tries baseline. She's doubled by Ionescu. A blitz by her and Laney. She gets it out of there to Tiffany Mitchell, but no basket. Great defense by the Liberty. Walt is pumped.
Because that's what he's been preaching.
Absolutely.
That is what he wants to see, the defense. He wants to see that improving, the scrambling, the trapping, the switching. And he's implemented something a little bit different from last year, a little bit more play calling and things like that. But, boy, their defense, as they continue to go and grow as a team, that's going to dictate everything else.
And wait until Kia Stokes, Rebecca Allen, as Ionescu hits the jumper, and Natasha Howard, who is the biggest piece of the starters missing here for this Liberty team tonight.
This organization made a huge effort to bring in versatile, multiple position defenders. And by virtue of having those kinds of players, you can do a lot of the things you want to do on both ends of the floor.
And Walt told us it allows them to switch and trap more, and we just saw that on the Fever's last possession.
You can create those mismatches and play smaller at times, play bigger. And Sabrina continuing with that ball, her on-ball screening, and knowing how to read the on-ball screen is what she's so adept at. She's done it her whole career, but that time keeps the ball alive, hesitates, slows down, changes speed, has the mid-range.
Kaiser Gondrzik drives in, kicks out to Danielle Robinson for 3, no good, and Ionescu with the rebound. She is 4 rebounds shy of her first WNBA triple-double. Laney turnaround, and it falls. That rim loves Benijah Laney. And Marianne Stanley wants to talk it over as the Liberty have built their lead back up to 8. We're back with more fourth quarter action right after this.
You know what? Here's to going for it and being terrible. Here's to giving it a shot, even though your shot is garbage. To being the queen of the court. Oh, maybe not best court. To feeling the burn, even if there shouldn't be a burn to feel. To trying your best, even though your swing is the worst. Here's to going down way harder than you get back up.
Possibly one more ball.
To giving it your all. Even though you kind of suck. But you know what doesn't suck? Ooh. Trying to do something you've never done before. That doesn't suck at all. Not even a little.
The new handcrafted quesadilla at Chipotle. It's a whole new way to adobo chicken, a whole new way to guac, and a whole new way to order. Because it's only in the app or online. The new quesadilla. It's a whole new way to Chipotle.
What does it take to make the world's most awarded tequila? It's more than just harvesting the finest blue agave. It's using it in a 200-year-old recipe recognized by tequila experts as the best in its class year over year. 1800, the best taste in tequila.
When sending a text at 3 a.m. is something you won't regret.
Craving pizza.
Personal assistance 24/7. One of the many things you could expect when you're with Amex.
Domino's is testing driverless delivery powered by Neuro, and it's got someone back to their old habits. Avoid the Noid when you get any 2 or more medium 2-topping Domino's pizzas delivered for just $5.99 each.
Liberty with a 72-64 lead over the Indiana Fever. 8:12 left here in the fourth. Liberty on an extended run here to build this 8-point lead with just over 8 minutes left. Tiffany Mitchell creates space, and then an offensive foul is called.
Another great defensive play. The Liberty defense has really picked it up here this last quarter. These are the kinds of hustle plays, and that's a good call. McCowan just doesn't get out of the way quick enough, and she's called for a moving screen, and that's the proper call.
Second foul on McCowan as the Liberty get back to work on offense. Push shot there by Ionescu, no good. Rebound to Tiffany Mitchell. Good hands there by Jazz Jones, misdirects the pass. Breland gets it inside, though, and lays it in to cut the lead to 6.
Indiana has found a way to hang around in this game, although they haven't led much throughout it. You've got to give them credit. And they did this last year, too, if you remember that game. It was the first game of the season, too, or early, where they just hung around, and that's their MO.
Shooting 39% from the floor and trailing by just 6 as Rashonda Gray will shoot 2, her first trip to the line. She's got 2 points and 1 rebound so far. Rashonda misses the first. Tomorrow afternoon on Yes, Kevin Durant and the Nets are getting primed for the NBA playoffs as Brooklyn takes on the Chicago Bulls in their penultimate game of the regular season. Coverage starts at 12:30 on Yes and streaming on the Yes app. And Mike D'Antoni taking in tonight's action, Nets assistant coach. Nice to see Coach here checking out the Liberty game.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of support. And Kevin Durant has also supported the women's game like crazy as well.
And according to head coach Steve Nash, there may be a Big 3 sighting. So scary hours may begin for the rest of the league.
That's right.
Tomorrow night as Kelsey Mitchell gets her jumper to go.
People trying to get healthy.
Just 6.5 games they've played together this season, Jules.
That's incredible. Imagine full force.
And still the 2 seed in the East.
It's been a heck of a season for the Nets.
Jazz Jones gets fouled. Liberty starting their season and also the 25th season of the W.
Kelsey Mitchell here with the finish. Jazz respects it. You know, she just tips her cap to that one. What can you do?
Yeah, right.
She comes out at her. She closes out well.
Active hands there by Vivians, but a kick ball. Shot clock to 14. Liberty still in control. New York with a 5-point lead. They've led by as many as 11. Here on the season opener from the Barclays Center. Jazz Jones way short on the 3 attempt.
And not a good shot.
No. 3 seconds to go on the shot clock.
She had to hurl it.
Good D there by Dee Richards. Facing up on Jantel Lavender. Runs the break. Puts it up and in. Dee Richards' first bucket in the W.
The number 17 overall selection. Terrific job in the transition.
Out of Baylor, a defensive specialist. And you could see she is earning minutes here down the stretch for Walt Hopkins.
She's somebody who's still trying to get fully healthy. That is a terrific defensive play. That defense, the steal, the poaching leads to your offense. And she loves it. And she's an exciting personality, too. And they've been really working on her shot. That's been the big thing, is breaking her shot. And defensively, she's ready. But she's continuing to work on that offense.
She was out here before the game started as Gondrzik catches air on her 3 attempt. But Richards was putting in extra work before the game, working on her shot, working on it on the baseline, working on it from 3. You could see how they've been breaking down that shot, Jules, and trying to build it back up.
She has a really special feel, and explosive dynamic to her game. And when she can put the shot together with all that, she'll be terrific.
And there she is on the offensive glass, coming in out of nowhere. 10 to shoot here as Ionescu resets. Rewards Richards on the baseline. She finds Wickham in the corner for three. No good. Almost another offensive board and a foul. We're going to stay here. What ball movement by this Liberty club on that possession, Jules.
And one thing that stands out to me so far in this game and with New York is the turnover column, Chris. 11 turnovers. That's all they've got so far. They had 24, 25.
That was a problem, yes.
Last season. So you notice that's a big difference here. A cleaner group. They've kept it together.
Excellent catch there by you, partner. As Laney drives the lane, finds Gray. And we have a jump ball. Good defense there by McCowan. You have to earn it if McCowan and Lavender are in the lane.
You sure do. To have a pull-up game, you've got to also know how to dish quick.
And that's what Laney did. Unfortunately for Rashonda Gray, she was in amongst the trees. Benaja Laney, once again, cannot believe that call.
Liberty foul charge number 1.
That was by Fatu Chisoko Stevens. Awarded the ball to the Fever. Just over 5 minutes left here. Liberty with their 7-point lead on Indiana. See if they can hold on, win their opening night game, something they haven't done since 2017. Nice turnaround and off-glass attempt there by Lavender. And right there on cue with the cleanup is McCowan.
Continuing to expand the double-double that she's got. And 18 second chance points for the Fever. That's a high number.
So far, the Liberty have been able to weather that storm. And it's because of their three-point prowess. 11 of 23 from downtown, 48%. As Kelsey Mitchell cuts more into the lead. And you blink your eyes, Jules, and that 8-point lead could be cut down to 2.
2 bad possessions. You allow the second chance opportunity, then you turn it.
A bucket there by Ionescu to end that for the Fever. She gives herself a little pat on the chest saying that turnover was my bad, but
let me make it up for you.
This was good.
That's a nice job. I mean, McCowan was all over her, and she was able to put it up above McCowan's arms, which is not an easy thing to do, and she just rises the ball beautifully.
Hey, let's tip our cap to this crowd here tonight at Barclays Center. Capacity is 1,225 fans, and we have capacity.
Yeah.
It is a sellout.
And you know if that number ever gets increased, then they'll get more fans here.
Mitchell inside to McCowan, no good, but another rebound by Jantel Lavender, no good there, and tipped out of bounds by McCowan. And you know, Jules, you and Michael Grady did a game here in 2019. It was kind of foreshadowing against the Seattle Storm. And this place had 7,700 people in it. It sounded like the building was full.
Oh, it was so much fun. The whole lower bowl really was full. It was really fun.
Didn't Tina Charles go off for like 22
She
points?
did. She had a great game.
Speaking of somebody going off, how about Benaja Laney? 28 points, 11 of 18 from the floor for her.
And I love the term used to describe her from Walt Hopkins. It's hungry. She's hungry.
Yeah, most improved player isn't enough. Not with her motor. Wickham, inside out. Ionescu for 3, no good. She knew it was off. She tried to get the rebound. And then a foul on Ionescu when she tried to steal the ball away from McCowan.
Oh, that was a great opportunity, though. She made the right move. Nice little head fake. Got the shot that you're looking for.
This is eerily similar to the game in 2019 that started the Yes Network and the Liberty relationship when McCowan won it at the buzzer.
Sophia Witherspoon, that's right. Vicki Johnson. How did I forget VJ? He was coaching here for a bit.
Here's the score of that game. Liberty won it by 10 over the Los Angeles Sparks.
Two of the OG organizations right there.
I was waiting for that OG reference to come in. I thought it was going to be me.
Oh, I had to
and it's Jules.
I knew it was coming.
That game was televised nationally on NBC. They had over 14,000 at the Great Western Forum for that one. And Penny Toller scored the first basket in WNBA history. A baseline jumper off a pass from Jamila Weidman.
And you think about how far the league has come. And it's been 25 years. And back then, they didn't know if it was going to go past a year or two.
Right. You heard Spoon in the tease at the top of the show.
And it gave something for young women to look forward to, not just overseas basketball.
And you know what? We haven't really been able to properly congratulate Spoon, too, on being on the bench with the New Orleans Pelicans as an assistant coach. And I talked to her earlier this month. She wants to be an NBA head coach.
And she could absolutely be. I mean, you see what she's doing with Zion and the impact she's made with him, and he's talked about it freely.
I know Becky Hammond has been on Pop's staff for quite some time now, and she's actually taken over for him when he's gotten tossed. But to hear Spoon want that, you know the type of player she was, and you know she can go after anything, and she can definitely lead an NBA team.
Yeah, she demands that kind of respect, and players respect her.
Laney misses. The Liberty did make their first 11 free throws. They've missed their last two, and Laney connects there for a 3-point lead with 2.5 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. Crunch time here for Walt Hopkins' squad. Defense has been preached. Last year in the bubble, this year's camp.
They're going to look to pound it in every time, Chris.
McCowan's been doing that all night. 22 and 16.
48 points in the paint.
Good defense there by Danielle Robinson. Ionescu a little upset. Tried to get the ball back, but it gets back to Robinson. Fever have not led in the second half. Robinson can't get it to go, but there once again is Lavender, and that is the first lead of the second half. Just under 2 minutes to play for the Fever.
Indiana is taking this game and dictating the tempo. They're playing their style.
Ionescu, no good. She's now 5 for 16 from the field.
And New York desperately needs a stop here, Shirley.
Coming up on 90 seconds to play here. Liberty have to clamp down on defense, but it's tough when Kelsey Mitchell's out near the perimeter making jump shots like that. And the Fever have now built up a 3-point advantage, a 9-1 run to give them an 84-81 lead over the Liberty. And Kelsey Mitchell, she's starting to cook.
She's just the star that they need. I mean, she's just so tough with the basketball, and her ability to dribble and have that change of speed and pace, and the ball in her hands, it's on a string. She can do so much with it, and she's hot right now. And right now, New York needs to make some adjustments on the defensive end because Indiana's getting whatever they want every time down the floor, whether it's Kelsey Mitchell knocking it down from distance and spreading the floor, or it's getting it inside in the paint where they're getting killed by McCowan. Lavender, they're getting second chance opportunities.
50 points in the paint and 22 second chance points. This is what we were talking about at the open of the show. Absolutely.
Rebounding is also not been great lately from New York.
Tomorrow, NYCFC looks to keep their unbeaten streak alive when the boys in blue take on Toronto FC in an Eastern Conference showdown. Coverage starts at 12:30, streaming live on the YES app, and you can also watch it tape delayed following Nets coverage on YES. Busy time on the YES Network. 4 teams all at once for the first time. Nets, Liberty, NYCFC, and of course, the Bronx Bombers, the New York Yankees.
28 rebounds to 45 from the Fever.
Foul there as Danielle Robinson called for the bump on Benijah Laney.
That will send Laney to the line once again. So this is what the Liberty need. The clock stopped, Jules, and able to chip down this 3-point lead. Laney no good once again. Now 3 for 5 from the stripe. Here comes Rashonda Gray back into the game. She replaces the rookie, Michaela Onyenwede.
And Laney hasn't missed much. She's missed a couple here at the line, though.
Laney hits that one, cuts the lead to 2, and this is why Rashonda Gray was brought back. This front line of Lavender and McCowan. The Liberty needed some size, and Gray is in there with Kylie Shook. Tiffany Mitchell misses the 3, and it's tipped, and it will stay with the Fever. 14 to shoot, 1:12 left here in the fourth quarter. Looks like the officials might be taking another look at this to see who in fact did tip the ball out of bounds. Jules, your thoughts?
You got to get this right, obviously, down the stretch.
Oh,
and that's
after
one.
McCowan. That's off of McCowan.
It appeared that way to me. She was above the other arms that I saw in that picture.
Play is under review. This would be a huge reversal if the Liberty were awarded this possession. Down by those 2 points, just over a minute left to play. What a game this has been to open up the WNBA season, the 25th anniversary.
It's been an incredible game in this weekend. There's a lot of games to watch, too. So stay tuned. Tons of coverage all season long for the W.
The Fever getting it done in the paint. Just mentioned they had 50 points in the paint, and the Liberty, Jules, getting it done at the perimeter. This is what we expected to see in the Wubble before this is what we expected to see in the season before the Wubble happened.
And even tonight, I thought this is what we would see, because this is a contrast of styles. New York wants to run, they're guard-oriented, and Indiana wants to bang it inside, and that's what they've done, and they have out-rebounded the heck out of New York, which has been a problem in the preseason stuff for New York. And will it be going forward? That's to be determined. But we're taking a look here. Now, did the ball change directions? It did seem that McCowan tipped that last.
It looks like she clasps her fingers
so slightly.
Yeah.
The ball moves a little bit there, but it has to be irrefutable for them to reverse it. They're sure, or there has to be very little to no doubt.
Okay, so the video portion of the review is over. And now we'll get the conference to make sure the call is correct. Randy Richardson, Fatou Chisoko Stevens, and Blanca Burns. And they give the ball to the New York Liberty.
Yeah.
So they get it right.
I think that's the right call. I mean, it was slightly altered in direction. It was very close.
Tremendous job by the officiating crew here tonight.
The fans like it here.
Okay, here we go. Just over a minute. New York down by 2. Nice look inside. Shook. Gets shook by Lavender and McCowan. Ball off of Kylie, and it's back to the Fever.
Now, this was a much-needed basket and situation here, and Shook just could not grab a hold of it. Good job here recovering defensively from Indiana.
Kelsey Mitchell once again. It's like, it's automatic.
She's incredible. She will not be stopped or denied.
Ionescu for 3. Sathrina with a huge bucket.
How long have you been cooking that one up, Sathrina? I like it.
Good defense there by Whitcomb, but a foul called. Whitcomb thought that Mitchell threw an elbow.
Now look at that crossover. Just creates her own shot with the mean cross. Stays low. And she goes the opposite way of the screen and fakes out the defense. A really appropriate moment to make that shot. She loves to take the clutch ones.
Mitchell misses the first. It stays a 1-point game. Mitchell is getting ready to tip her second here. Fourth-year player out of Ohio State nails the second one. Under 30 to play. Laney. And a foul called on Tiffany Mitchell.
Yeah, that should put her at the line.
Absolutely. Once again.
This is a bonus, so she's gonna. That's the right call. She was hooked. She'll go to the line here.
I don't know what Tiffany Mitchell was thinking when she was trying to plead her case to the officials.
And you certainly didn't need that foul. If you're Indiana.
Hey, HD cameras catch a lot, and they definitely caught that hook.
They did. 21 points, 11 assists for Sabrina right now. I'd say that's a pretty good debut, but she wants to get the W.
Tied at 87. A timeout on the floor. And I alluded to this, Jules, before we went to break previously. 2019, the first game we broadcast together at the Westchester County Center was between the New York Liberty and the Indiana Fever. And it was Tierra McCowan's.
I made the mistake. I think I said last year. It was 2019.
It was 2019. It was her rookie season right out of Mississippi State. And she hit the game-winning shot at the buzzer.
And where was it, Chris? It was underneath the basket.
Oh, well, for sure.
Right there where she was planted the whole game.
And here we go. The Yes Truck. Amazing. Here's the first game in Yes Network history with the Liberty. There's McCowan. There's the bucket. Candace Dupree, who's no longer here with the Fever. She is with the Seattle Storm.
She's not here anymore, and Natalie Achanwa is no longer on this team. And so they're missing no more Erica Wheeler, who is also a tremendous player.
She's with LA.
So there's been a lot of movement from this Fever team, kind of a rebuild. But not. They did bring back some of their other players like Mitchell and McCowan and Vivian. They're building around them.
Appropriate song playing now at Barclays Center. Thunderstruck by AC/DC, leading into We Will Rock You by Queen. Used to be a DJ, Jules.
I know that. You had mentioned that. I almost mentioned it again. You did it for me.
Tiffany Mitchell triggers into Danielle Robinson. 15 seconds. Shot clock is off. 87-87. Who will blink first? Jazz Jones or Robinson? Kelsey Mitchell.
Oh, and it's a walk.
And it's a walk on Mitchell. She doesn't think so. She thinks she kept her foot on the ground, but the officials say otherwise. So just under 6 seconds left, and we've got ourselves a barn burner here at Barclays Center in the first game of the season. The Liberty will have a chance to win this game with under 6 to go, Jules.
And this looked in real time like the right call. Let's look at it here. She moves that right pivot foot just a little bit.
Marianne Stanley didn't think so.
Thought she dragged it a little bit. It was a tough call and a tough situation to make that call. That right pivot foot might have dragged ever so slightly.
Something to think about here. No timeouts left for the New York Liberty as they're about to inbound this ball. Another look here. Yeah, that's a little shuffle.
Before she put the ball on the floor, she did shuffle a little bit.
We have our own official in the truck and our producer, Josh Isaac.
Good. That's a good job by our camera crew. In a situation like this, you don't need a 3, obviously. You need a 2. If they foul you, I go out the rim here, because if they foul you, either way, they're going to send you to the line. But Ionescu, Laney, you want to see them with the ball.
Ball inbound to Kylie Shook. 4 seconds left. Ionescu, a long 3 for the win, and she gets it! Sabrina Ionescu at the buzzer! 0.4 seconds left. Sabrina Ionescu from downtown
down, and the Liberty have a 3-point lead. My goodness.
We've got ourselves a bowler on the New York Liberty. She's a game-time clutch player, and if I've ever seen a clutch shot, that is so Sab, so her. You've seen her do it in college. Look at that. She turns, she sets her feet so nice. The bench loves it.
Did you see Victoria Vivian's face on the fever bench?
She tells him to go back to the bench. Look at her. She's trying not to smile.
If we can get another look at that replay.
That was pretty.
Oh my goodness. Sabrina Ionescu, ice in her veins, but 0.4 left. Got to think about the Trent Tucker rule. 0.3, 5-0 run to end the game, all by Ionescu. She scored the last 8 Liberty points. Tiffany Mitchell for 3 for the tie, no good. And the Liberty win the season opener here at Barclays Center by 3. Thanks to Sabrina Ionescu. Ice in her veins as she knocks it down, finishes with 25 points, 11 assists, 6 rebounds, 4 shy of a triple-double. Benai Laney and Ionescu combined to score 55 of the Liberty, 90 points. What a game, Jules.
This is the kind of transcendent star that just goes so well in New York, the biggest market in the WNBA. I mean, look at that shot. Beautiful shot by Ionescu. And what about this play? I love this play. This draw up by Walt Hopkins. This was what you kind of expected who would see the basketball. And she took care of business.
Trying to get Sabrina. Sabrina, can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Sabrina.